pronounce your name.
Yeah, it's Micah, you got it.
Okay, awesome, Micah. So Micah, if you just want to do an introduction about yourself and your background, and she'll be presenting on crypto security today. So super.
Yes, sorry for the technical delay. I had the spinning wheel of doom when I got added as a panelist and the whole thing crashed, but we're back. Quick background on me. So my name is Micah. I'm a Stanford grad, and most recently I worked at Microsoft as a cybersecurity engineer. And then in 2021, I started my own company called Webacy. We help you protect your digital assets for the unexpected. So we help you protect your crypto in case of loss of access, hacks, and even crypto wills and estate planning.
Awesome, cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And feel free to dive right in. If you would like to share your screen, feel free to.
All right. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, you're good to go.
All right. So I give you my brief background, but a fun fact has to do with my intro to Web3, so I'll talk about that. So I used to be an acrobat for Cirque du Soleil. Cirque du Soleil, it's an entertainment company around the world, and it's focused on human acrobatics, but I had some nerdy coworkers that I used to work with, and they were really into Bitcoin. So this is back in 2014, 2015, and that's really when I started diving into the technology of blockchain and realizing how much opportunity there was. So that's where I started, but more on the technical side, kind of conceptual. And then I started getting more into DeFi and NFTs during 2020 and 2021. And then I ended up starting Webacy. So that's kind of my background there. You can keep up with like me and Webacy on Twitter, Instagram, basically anywhere. But in terms of crypto security, which is why I'm here to talk about it, why does this matter? So in the new world of crypto, most of the time, you're going to be in charge of your own safety and security online. So if you own any non-custodial wallets, these are things like your MetaMask or a Phantom wallet, you own your crypto. And with great power comes great responsibility. So you need to actively have really good systems and practices in place to make sure that you get to stay safe online. And for a lot of people just starting out, these things are not necessarily intuitive. So they can be really complicated. And on top of that, you're trying to learn all of these new crypto concepts. So basically today, I want to give you some really easy and actionable steps and tools that you can use to help you stay safe and secure in Web3. So agenda for today, we're going to talk about wallet basics to start off. And I'm going to start at ground zero with some really functional security steps to keep your crypto safe. If you're already in crypto, these are going to be really basic, but it's always good to review the basics before building on top of them. For the second thing, we're going to talk about social safety. So this is probably the most important piece of the puzzle. Social engineering, which is things like phishing, DMs, playing on FOMO and emotions, timing. This is actually how the majority of individuals actually get scammed in this space. And then last thing, for advanced topics, I'll cover some advanced topics. These are things like cold storage, multi-wallet management, and so on. They're not necessarily advanced, but they're a step above the basics. So before I dive in, I do want to start with a personal story. So I've been hacked 2 times. So I should say I've been scammed completely through well-done social engineering scams. And to give you an example, I'll explain one of the times that it happened to me. So one day, back in the day, I was just getting started in NFTs, and I was looking at different collections, looking at upcoming mints, and so on. And I found this project with a ton of hype on Twitter. So I went ahead and joined the Discord, followed the Twitter, and I'll share a bunch of Discord tips later on, but this is how it gets into how they got me. So typically, projects that haven't launched yet will have their mint dates displayed on their official Discord channel somewhere in the information section. And we were getting pretty close to that mint date. And one day before the mint, I get a DM from a very, very official looking profile. And then the information was really structured well, and it said that I'd been selected for a whitelist mint. And at that time, this is like beginnings of NFT for me. I knew that this is supposed to be a good thing. It usually meant you could mint before the public sale at a lower price, yada, yada. And it also said that I had 1 hour to mint. So it had a link that was really well spelled and seemed legitimate. And so I went to that website, and it really, really looked good. So it had all the same branding. It had this really well rendered promo video in the background. It was super well done. So I clicked the mint button. I didn't read what I was approving because I knew that there was a very short time limit for me to mint this whitelist spot. And then I see this text send in my MetaMask wallet instead of mint. So by the time I realized that something had gone wrong, it was too late. My ETH was gone, the transaction had gone through, and I was really crushed. I felt embarrassed. I felt really upset. I felt kind of dumb. And all of this turned into motivation to improve my own personal security online. And also make sure this kind of stuff doesn't happen to other people. So in this story, there's a couple things here. The scam, it pretty much played on my excitement to get this super popular NFT, right? It played on the timing. It knew the mint was close. So in my head, it wasn't necessarily a red flag that someone might be talking about a whitelist mint around mint time. And then the visuals were really on point. And I think with traditional scams, things like phishing and email scams, we're used to poor grammar or misspellings and things that just stand out as illegitimate. But nowadays, the scams look really good. The websites look good. And it also made me rush to act, right? That 1 hour window that it gave me, it made me less likely to check and verify all of these little things that could have saved me from losing money. So these are things I would have looked at if I wasn't in a rush. So that's why we're here, right? So even after all those experiences, I fell for it again. So far, since those two, I haven't fallen for them yet, hopefully. But I've set up some pretty good systems to keep myself from falling prey to my reptilian brain. And I'm going to share those with you today. So done with story time. But the first topic is wallet basics. And these are just technical tips that are the base foundation of everything you want to do in Web3. And when in doubt, always return to these things. So these 3 things are about your seed phrase, about wallet connection tips, and then they're about wallet options. So very first, number 1 rule in all of crypto, never share your seed phrase or private keys. So your seed phrase, it's that 12 or 24 word phrase that you're going to get when you first set up your wallet. This should never be shared with anyone. However, it's also your recovery phrase if you ever lose access to your wallet. So it's tricky because you both have to keep it safe and you have to keep it out of the hands of other people. So in general, 1 rule is you don't want this phrase to even touch any digital space. You don't want to put it on your desktop. You don't want to save it in your cloud notes. You don't want to put it on a text on your phone. I would even advise against saving it to your 1Password or your LastPass. Just keep it off anything digital. So what option does that leave you with is the physical. So physical storage of the seed phrase, it's the most common method. It's also the easiest method, but you really need to be careful about it because now it's entering the physical world. So one option, very simple, is to write the seed phrase down on a piece of paper. Like this is the most common recommendation that most places will give you in terms of managing your seed phrase. You can make multiple copies of the seed phrase, and then you store it in various places where you know it's going to stay absolutely safe and you won't forget where it is. So some products have come out to kind of improve this physical storage aspect. There's like metal etching companies that make physical products. There's canisters that are supposed to be like end of world, indestructible kind of things. Lots of solutions out there. Decide what's right for you. But there are also more advanced ways to protect your wallet, like the wallet access and protect the assets in your wallet, including my company Webacy, but well, that'll come up later. But number 1, you never want to share your seed phrase. Topic number 2. So these are technical tips when it comes to connecting your wallet. So to interact with anything on Web3, you're going to need to connect your wallet to things at some point, to websites, to dApps. And after my hack experiences, I got really jaded around connecting my wallet to anything. But you're going to have to do it to interact with things in crypto. So here are some tips to help you with that. But when you're connecting your wallet, you always want to make sure that you trust the website that you're on. And the easiest way to do this is to look at the URL, which it seems really easy, but all of us skip over it when we're visiting websites. So you want to look at the URL in your browser. And this is basically the number 1 way you can make sure you're on the website that you mean to be on. And at a really high level, I recommend that you stay on legitimate, big, trusted websites until you become more versed in the space. So these are places like OpenSea, LooksRare. Even still, you always want to check the URL. Another tip is that when you're getting email links and DMs that are sent to you via URL, even from someone that you're supposed to be able to trust, a friend, a company, I always recommend retyping that URL directly into the browser or copying the text and then pasting it into the browser. So the thing with hyperlinks is that you can have the text say something that's different than the actual URL you're being sent to. So you want to avoid anything like that by actually copy pasting or just typing it in yourself. So the next thing is wallet prompts. So the wallet connect prompt is going to open up a dialog in your wallet. So your MetaMask is going to open, your Coinbase wallet is going to open. And this is another place where you want to pause and you want to check things. So you want to read everything that the wallet connect prompt is asking you to do. So what is the actual website trying to connect with you? Check that URL one more time. And then what permissions is it asking you for? So viewing the wallet address is reasonable, but approving transactions on your behalf is not a reasonable ask when you're connecting your wallet. So if anything looks off to you, do not connect your wallet. There's also a difference between signing something and connecting your wallet. So make sure you're watching out for that too. The third thing on this slide is disconnecting your wallet. So after I'm done doing whatever I'm doing on my dApp, I always disconnect that wallet from the website I gave access to in the beginning. So this is still a really new space, and each company website that you trust, it's always being developed. So if they ever become compromised in the future for any reason, you want to make sure that they don't have any permissions to your wallet. And then you can easily do that by disconnecting your wallet from dApps manually through the UI in the wallet. And every wallet UI has the disconnect button. It could be a little tricky to find, but it's there. All right, last point in the wallet basics section. This is to get a hardware wallet. So hardware wallets, they're a physical item that keep your private keys off of the digital space. And you have to have that physical item to be able to approve things. So if you want to approve anything, buy anything, transact, and so on, you need the physical item. So of course, now you have to keep that physical item safe, but it provides a huge extra layer of security in Web3. So I personally use a Ledger wallet. I have mine here, kind of hard to see right here. It's pretty small. But there are other options like Trezor, so on. You want to do some of your own research into the options out there and pick what's right for you. I know Ledger has a lot of educational videos and content, so that's why I went with Ledger. It's also a big brand name. A big topic for today is actually social safety. So many of the individual scams and hacks happen because of social engineering techniques. And we're human, we're emotional creatures, and sometimes we're really dumb and hopeful and trusting, and that's what they play on. So anytime you get into a Discord, the very first thing you should do is turn off your DMs. So scammers, they're going to target the newest member of each Discord to go after. And you can actually see in order who the newest members to join a Discord channel are. And they're going to try to send you a legitimate looking message and link through your DMs. But if you turn off your DMs, they can't reach you, so they're just going to move on to the next person. So always turn off your DMs, any channel you join. And this thing, the same concept actually goes for social media as well, like traditional social media. So I'm talking about Twitter, LinkedIn, even Instagram. You don't want to click on any social media links or links in DMs that people send you, also Facebook. I don't care who it is, even if it's from a friend or a verified account. I can tell you there have been so many prominent people in the space getting scammed because they thought they were speaking to someone they knew. So be careful there. And if you're curious about something, just call the person. If you know them directly, talk to them, go find out for yourself, which brings me to this last point on this slide, which is DYOR, which stands for do your own research. And this means that anything you do in crypto and Web3, you want to make sure that you put in the time to understand what it is, who made it, what is it supposed to do, what are you going to get from it. You're in charge of your own safety and security in crypto, and so you should put in the time and work it takes to keep yourself safe. And that's why when I got hacked, there really wasn't anyone to be mad about other than myself. And of course, these bad actors that they are to blame in the end, but they're always going to be there. And so you're the one taking action in the space. So it's your job to do the work. But we hear do your own research all the time. What does that actually mean? No one tells you what research looks like. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what research looks like. The three main things I look for when I'm researching a project or dApp are the team, the feedback, and the code. So for the team, who made the project? Are they real people? Or are they undoxed JPEG images with cartoon faces and weird nicknames? The privacy in the incognito mode of Web3 makes it really acceptable to hide your identity, which is positive in many, many ways, but it's not great for safety. So project creators have no responsibility or stake in a project if something doesn't go well or if something bad happens. So maybe you've heard of the term a rug pull when it's referring to a project. It often refers to an NFT project where the creators take all the money from sales and completely disappear. And if you don't know who these people are, they're going to get away with it because there's no identity to take responsibility for what just happened. So I always check the team. Are they real people with names? Do they put their name and identity on the line? And what are their backgrounds? Where did they work before? Where did they come from? If it's a company, what kind of advisors do they have on the board? Who are the founders? Who are the investors even? Second thing on do your own research is feedback. So what are other people saying about the project? If you go into Discord, what kind of other people are there? You can see if there's a community, if there's conversation, what is happening in the channels. And you can also check Twitter if they happen to have a Twitter project as well. Web3 is super community driven, as we have all been learning the past 2 days. It's also very participant driven. So you want to look for signals from others about projects you're looking into. The last one on here, this one's a little more advanced, but learning how to read Etherscan and smart contracts are going to put you into a whole nother level of being able to keep yourself safe. So I'm not saying you need to go and read the entire smart contract behind every single project, but it gives you another tool in your security tool belt to pick up red flags or concerns in the security of the code. So even still, you can go to Etherscan and take a look at what functions are built in there. You can read comments from people who have actually gone through and read the entire code and so much more. So spend some time looking into the technical side of things if you want to level up your security game. And this part, the research part, it's really just about taking that extra step. And sometimes that extra step can be the difference between staying safe or falling for something malicious. And hackers are going to go for the very lowest hanging fruit possible. So by educating yourself and those people around you, you're going to help your circle climb to a higher part of that tree, less likely to be targeted. All right, so we're on to the advanced section of wallet security. These are not actually more complicated. They're just more smart things you can do to keep yourself safe in Web3. So the very first thing on this list is multiple wallets. So now this is completely my suggestion and it's what I do, but you should do whatever works best for you. Me personally though, I designate one trash wallet for anything that is even slightly questionable in crypto. And there's plenty of questionable websites and things that happen in crypto. So anytime I do things like putting myself on a whitelist or clicking on stuff, approving anything, or even minting anything, I use this trash wallet. And I basically keep 0 ETH in the wallet at all times, unless I'm going to mint something. And then right before the mint, I will dump the mint amount plus gas into the wallet, mint it, and then there's basically nothing left in the wallet. And then after I mint an NFT or whatever I'm doing, I'll transfer that to my other stuff. So I'll transfer it to my cold storage, and my cold storage wallets aren't having to touch anything on the hot internet. So this way, if the wallet ever becomes compromised, there's not much in there. I'm limiting my own risk, and I can just make a fresh wallet and start over if I ever need to. So that's one method to kind of level up your crypto security game. Second tip, check your approvals. Now, what does this mean? So sometimes when you're using dApps and minting stuff, swapping tokens, you end up approving certain things on the contents of your wallet. And then for example, if you're listing something on OpenSea for sale, you're setting an approval for that NFT to be sold on a certain condition. So usually this is all fine, especially if you're using trusted websites. But sometimes approvals are the reason people get stuff stolen. So it's always really important to check what approvals you have on anything in your wallet and do this frequently. You could do it every other day, you could do it weekly. And if there's anything doubtful, you can revoke those approvals. So there's a few places you can actually go to revoke the approvals. So the most straightforward is Etherscan. They have a token approval checker tool. You can go in there and you can revoke everything. There's also revoke.cash, which is very popular. It looks really janky, but a lot of people, trust it. The third thing is reading the news. So if you're on Twitter, people will actually post really long threads if there's a new vulnerability or if they get hacked. And oftentimes it explains what happened to them so it doesn't happen to you. So I would recommend reading these. The space is always changing. So we're learning new things about the tech. You have to keep yourself up to date with these new things. My company, Webacy, our Twitter, we repost anything regarding crypto security and vulnerabilities that we find. So if you follow us, you'll see a lot of the updates. And then the last thing on this advanced topic list, it's about setting up your backup and emergency protocols. So if you ever lose access to your wallet, how are you going to recover those assets? This usually comes down to the seed phrase recovery. Or what if you forget your password? What if you get locked out of your machine? And in the worst case, what if you get hacked, or what if your machine gets stolen, something bigger on that scale? And in all of these situations, it's always best to have a backup plan. And it's like when you prepare an emergency medical kit, you're probably never going to need it, and you never want to have to need it. But if you do need it, you're going to be really grateful that you had it in the first place. So totally unshameful self-promotion, but these are tools that we're building at Webacy. We're building a backup wallet functionality, a kill switch for hacks, all the good stuff. Check it out. But this brings me to story time number 2. The setting is East Denver. The snow is falling, and you're packed in a dark room with a bunch of crypto networking folks. And the music is so loud that you can't hear the crypto bro talking about the new protocol he's building. And then suddenly you hear a ping on your phone, and actually everyone's phone is pinging. The news broke about a dangerous new OpenSea phishing scam going around, stealing people's expensive and clout-worthy NFTs. And then the next thing you know, the room is clearing, and tech bros are scrambling to call their Ubers back to their 3-star hotels to go and save their precious JPEGs. So the rest of the night, these guys are spending time revoking their approvals to their tokens. And for some of them, they're transferring every single NFT to a brand new wallet, and they have hundreds to just go over. So this is barely dramatized. I was there, this happened, and these crypto natives, some of them don't even have a plan in this situation. So I think it's better to think about this stuff now, so you've got a solid option if it ever comes up. Even better, you apply all of these tips so it never happens to you in the first place. All right, a couple rapid fire things to close us out. So first thing, get a hardware wallet. Like I mentioned before, Ledger, Trezor, a couple of them are out there. Get a physical way to store your keys. Second, do not click on anything if you don't know what it is. Just don't do it. Third, learning the difference between smart contract functions. So a transfer function is very different than a mint method, and a signature is very different from connecting to an app. So you want to learn the difference between those things. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Nobody is going to buy you free drinks at the crypto bar. Turn off all of your DMs. And lastly, you want to double check everything yet again. Every transaction, every website, every collection on OpenSea, absolutely everything. And I want all of these crypto security habits to become second nature for everybody. And you're going to have to build your own systems and mental checks that are going to stay with you. But I hope that some of the things I talked about today are going to be things that you can start applying today. And then also, it's complicated. So this is new stuff, and I want you to feel confident about interacting with the Web3 space, armed with the knowledge and the habits that you need to keep you safe. So I'll pause there. I'll look at any questions if there are any, but you can also contact me and connect with me on Twitter and Webacy.
Wow, I was literally like taking notes. I think this has been one of the most informative sessions we've had so far, because security is like such an important aspect of Web3, but like when you're kind of new in the space, you're just distracted by like all these shiny like projects and like launches, and you're not really thinking about like all these things. But then when you get hacked, it like really hits. So thank you so much for like sharing not only like your personal like experiences with like getting hacked, but also like tips on how to not get hacked, and different resources that you can use. So first of all, I just want to say thank you so much. We'll see if the audience has any questions, but while we're waiting for them, I would also like to share a little embarrassing security story that I have. When I like first joined the crypto space, I like didn't really understand like seed phrases and like passwords and blah, blah, blah. And I was creating a wallet on a really popular like wallet site. And then when I got my seed phrase, I was like, oh, like I'll just like copy and paste this and put it in my notes. And so I had it like command seed and like command V'd, but then one of my friends and I were trying to Zoom, and then she's like, oh, can you send me the Zoom link? And so I thought that I had like copied the Zoom link, but I guess I didn't. And then I accidentally sent her my seed phrase. And so like those like little trip ups, it's like so easy to do because like Web3 is so digital and you're literally just like clicking buttons. And so definitely like I hope all the attendees today like took away some really valuable advice, because security is like so important, and I like fumbled the bag like many times when I first entered this space. So thank you again for sharing. I feel like this is a topic that I'm also very passionate about.
So I have a question, Hannah, if you don't mind. So my question is, for the first time ever this week, and I consider myself really security, like, I'm very security friendly. I know what to do. I do all the right steps, right? I was like so proud. Oh, I've never gotten hacked, blah, 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 blah. Stupid me. I'm in a meeting. I start getting notifications and meanwhile, I'm on D&D on Discord. So like, I'm not supposed to be getting notifications, but somehow I'm getting notifications that, oh, you're missing the free mint. Why are you missing the free mint? Because the Discord got hacked. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm missing the free mint. Like I'm in a meeting, you're multitasking, you're not thinking. That is a really common theme that I hear for everybody that gets hacked, is that they were trying to do like two things at once. My question to you is, everyone talks about these are the steps, what you need to do to not get hacked, right? What happens when you get hacked? What are the steps? Because I can tell you, like, the panic I felt as soon as I clicked and went, oh my God, I can't believe I'm the biggest idiot and I fell for it. What do you do? Like, I went directly to Etherscan, I revoked everything, but like, I don't keep ETH in my wallet. So I had no money to do the revokes. And like, so what in that circumstance, like, what do you feel the best steps are for people to, like, if they are hacked and it is a wallet and it has stuff in it, what do you do?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And this happens all the time. And the answer is, unfortunately, it depends on the type of hack. There's a lot of hacks out there that are immediate. So you probably, when you clicked it, you probably saw them as, this is what happened to me. I saw the mistake. And panicking, there is a cancel option on during the transaction, but you need to be fast enough to click it. So if it's something like you're sending pure ETH to someone else, you have to be fast enough to click that cancel button to, revoke it in the moment. Most of the time, you're not going to be fast enough. So in that sense, there's no recovering of it. There's a lot of hacks, though, that actually come and get you later. So I had a friend who signed something, they approved something that seemed normal, but then a few hours later, their whole wallet was drained, right? And so at that moment, he knew that he had signed something kind of weird, but nothing happened. So he didn't think anything of it. So in those situations, that is when you're able to go back to revoke.cash and revoke everything. But you really just need to be on top of it, because this stuff happens. And if it was immediate, both of my two hacks were immediate transfers, and I just wasn't fast enough. That's why we're missing some of like the security tools, especially with the time delta hacks that don't exist. Again, shameless self-promotion. We built it at Webacy to deal with that particular one, but there's things you can't protect against, like if you click on something that is wrong.
So then, okay, because it's a shameless hack and we have 1 minute, what can you tell us about your about Webacy? Tell us, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, Webacy is helping you protect against the unexpected, and unexpected is broad for a really big reason. So we have a backup wallet functionality. If you ever lose access to your original wallet, how do you recover that? It's all free of seed phrase and private keys. So I'm promoting this because we don't ask for it, right? We created a solution that does not require you to give us your seed phrase or private keys. And the other thing is we have a kill switch. So anytime there's that time delta hack where there is a little bit of time before things get stolen, you're able to transfer everything to a safe house wallet that you already designated. But that's a whole nother talk. I know we're at time, so thank you for the time, the questions.
Yes, and everyone's like super hyped for your company, and someone was like, can I get a pre-beta code? So I don't know if you have a wait list, but if you do, like, please share it in the chat.
Yeah, I'll drop the link.
Awesome, cool. So the link is being dropped. Thank you so much again for hosting this panel. It was like one of the ones that I learned like so much information from.